If you own a clothing brand, you probably have experienced quite a few different niche situations while running a brand. So I thought today we'll whack them all into a tier list based on how valuable the situations actually are. Not just situations as well, different apps, different strategies, stuff like that. So enough of me waffling, let's get straight into the tier list. First of all, we're going to knock out a couple of the easy ones. Shopify. Easy S tier. Shopify is basically what you build your website on, and it's just literally the best platform ever. If you've ever tried to make a website on anything else like Wix is absolutely dog water compared to Shopify. Shopify, easy S tier. Without Shopify, everyone's lives would be 10 times harder. Another S tier. The whole Adobe Creative Cloud, specifically Lightroom, Photoshop, and Illustrator. Just them three alone take the piece. There is other free alternatives like Canva and stuff, but honestly, if you're a serious designer and you're using Canva, you need to give your head a shake, mate. That might be me being an Adobe snob. However, I'm happy to be labeled an Adobe snob because I've tried to use Canva before and it was a horrible, horrible experience. The one thing Canva does have over Adobe though is probably like the presets you can drag and drop in, but that doesn't really matter to me anyway. If I want a vectorized clip art image, I'll just vectorize it in Illustrator and it takes like 10 seconds. Moving swiftly on, my mouse is hovering over the Pakistan flag here, and that is an easy F tier, the whole country of Pakistan. If you run a brand specifically on Instagram, you're gonna get your comments flooded with like 9 million different Pakistan manufacturers just commenting like fire emoji or, oh, we can make custom garments. Like, how do they think that's a good strategy to acquire new clients? I can't understand it. I have on my brand account 1,000 Pakistan manufacturers blocked because they're just so annoying. I get at least 10 DMs a day saying, oh, hey brother, you need custom garments. And I'm just thinking, why would I ever work with someone who calls me bro? Because I've fell for the trap before. I used to manufacture in Pakistan, but I will never do it anymore because I've been fucked over too many times by too many different suppliers. So the whole country in my eyes is just an absolute shithole. Apologies for the little rant there. Pakistan manufacturers just get my blood boiling. Let's move on to the next one. Let's do Miro. If you don't know what Miro is basically like a website and also an app where you can make infinite mind maps. And it's very, very useful to plan out drops and stuff. That's what I do. Instead of having like a whiteboard full of your designs, you can sort of just have it digitally on Miro. The one thing about that is though, obviously you have to have the tab open to look at it, and I only have so many monitors. So if I did have a whiteboard, it'd probably be a bit more easier to see and it would remind me a bit more. However, I do really, really like it. One thing you can't do though is embed videos onto it. It's only pictures, so it's a bit like a mood board rather than like a full breakdown of like every shot you want in a shoot or something like that. So it is very useful, but it also could be better. For that reason, I'd probably plonk it in a B tier because I could do it without. I could do it all on Photoshop, but it's quite useful to have it there. I'll put it in a B. Pinterest is where I get pretty much all my ideas from. Frost is known for graphic t-shirts. I'll pop some up around here. And our tagline is inspired by nostalgia. Everything is a reference or a nod to something that's already been. Currently, I've been designing a lot of like Harley Davidson style long sleeve t-shirts, and Pinterest is just a gold mine. You could not find that sort of garment like if you went to a thrift or like a flea market. So for that reason, getting out of like creative ruts and seeing different ways to do stuff, easy for me. Easy S tier. I've just realized as well at the bottom half of the stuff is duplicated. That's my bad, so we're only going to do stuff once. Moving on to buy now, pay later apps. Now you can embed this directly into your Shopify. I have Klarna on mine and they're good in terms of getting new sales because some people don't feel like putting their Apple Pay or the card into new websites. So for that safety net for them, it is pretty decent. However, the payouts are just absolutely taking the piss. If someone has an order from me and say they buy one t-shirt and they buy it on Klarna, I'm not seeing that money for at least 10 to 14 days, which is absolutely nuts. Obviously, because we're still a small brand, that can cause cash flow problems. And it does also quite annoy me when someone buys one t-shirt for £35 on Klarna as well, because in my mind, if I was buying a t-shirt and it was 35 quid and I had to Klarna it, I just wouldn't buy it. You know what I mean? I'd just wait until I have the money and then Apple Pay it. Everyone's different though, but for that reason, I'd probably put it in a C tier. I mean, it's okay. My store would run without it. Take for example, Cortez. Clint419, who owns it, does not have Klarna on the store because he said if you can't afford the clothes, don't buy the clothes, which is pretty simple. He's in a good position where he can say that now because he makes like 50 mil a year. We're not there yet, so we still have it on. We probably will keep it on, to be fair. If you're tapped in as well to like the American sort of market, a lot of my TikTok is American streetwear brands, and they do something called the pre-order method. The pre-order method is basically where you get a sample from your manufacturer, you then promote the sample and then drop it, but you don't have any stock. You're just taking pre-orders, and then it's going to take like 6 to 10 weeks to deliver. The problem with this though, a few brands just will not ship your order and they'll just take your money, which puts a downer on everyone else's brand when they've actually made a good piece and could make like a living out of it. They could actually make a company. So although that does slightly ruin it because of the trust factor, pre-orders are a brilliant way to scale, because a lot of businesses, especially clothing brands, don't have any external investors, meaning the cash is completely bootstrapped. And if it's bootstrapped, you are limited to how many pieces you can buy. However, if you sell all the pieces first and then buy from your manufacturer, you're absolutely quids in. This does heavily rely on your ability to market the product though. I personally haven't done it because I'm not the best at marketing. I'm more of like a print on demand guy. These are all my t-shirts here and I print one as I get an order. The pre-order method though, if done correctly, can change your business from a hobby to like £1 million business. I've seen it happen with several brands. Like one product will blow up and their life will just change. So for that reason, I'll put it in an A. Now onto the pre-made method. I'd probably also put that in an A, maybe a bit closer. I'll put that before the pre-order method. Actually no, I'm going to put pre-order method in B. Pre-made method is just better because customer satisfaction is 10 times higher. If someone buys a t-shirt from me, it can be in their hands in the UK tomorrow. Amazon have sort of ruined the game for everyone because their shipping literally can be within a couple of hours. So everyone else has to follow the same standard because people are used to it then showing on the doorstep. If your brand's not living up to the benchmark or anywhere near it, there's going to be like a little sour taste in the mouth. If you think about it from your expensive, let's say I buy a pair of trainers, I want them there as soon as possible. So you can understand it from that point of view as well. So that's why I'm going to put it in A. The only problem is with it is the exact opposite of the pre-order method. There's only so much stock you can buy when your company's bootstrapped. Moving on to another DM pounder, freelance brand scalers. If Brez Scales is watching this, mate, you have done irreparable damage to the e-com marketing game, especially for meta ads, because you get these 14-year-olds now who think they can run campaigns and get an 8 ROAS, and they're taking screenshots of like the dashboard and they've only spent £14 on an ad and it's got like an 8 ROAS. If they scale that up, it's probably going to drop below 1. Between Pakistan manufacturers and freelance brand scalers, I probably get like 20 messages a day from different people trying to A, run my ads, and B, get me to supply with them. For that reason, I am going to put it in an... I think they're a little bit better than the Pakistan manufacturers. However, some of the outreach from these guys are awful as well. Like the pitching is just shit, boys. A lot of them will say, oh, seen your brand for quite a while now, love the stuff. You'll click on the profile and it doesn't say follow back. So they don't follow me. They haven't been seeing my stuff. All they want is the cash in my pocket. I do have a little bit more respect for them than the Pakistan manufacturers. So I'm going to put them in E. But that could drop to an F, to be honest. Staying on the topic of manufacturers sort of too, Alibaba, wow. I love Alibaba. My Alibaba, I've got a freight forwarder, I've got different manufacturers for different products, which I would recommend for you. So your jersey manufacturer who makes your hoodies and your t-shirts should not be making your sportswear. People who make your sportswear shouldn't be making your leather goods. Your leather goods shouldn't be making your accessories and your hats. You should have your eggs in different baskets to spread the risk. Alibaba is really good, but it also is filled with a lot of shite. Luckily, I know how to actually scan the website and like ask the correct questions to know if that manufacturer is for me. You can get done in on there as well if you're very naive, because 9 times out of 10 a manufacturer will say a price and then a novice businessman would just accept the price, but you have to negotiate it down, because if they can squeeze every last penny out of you, they will. I'm going to put Alibaba in A because it's not the only way you can find manufacturers, but it is a very good tool. For example, there's a couple of manufacturer exhibitions in London. I've gone to them. It's very beneficial to go down and actually feel the quality, speak to them, form a relationship rather than just messaging them online. So there is other ways around it, but Alibaba is a very good tool. There's a big controversial talking point at the moment, really, about how you use AI for your clothing brand. I use Claude Claude on a daily basis. Claude helps me with stuff I don't want to do, such as email flows, such as improving stuff on my website by coding custom Shopify liquid, which is unreal. Yesterday I coded my own SKU app because, as I said before, I print on demand for my t-shirts, so every single t-shirt has the same SKU. This way I built an app that I was paying $24 for, duplicates the same SKUs and updates all of the quantities at once, rather than picking and choosing what design's going to sell. They all have the same quantity, and as one sells, the quantity gets decreased on all of them. It's absolutely brilliant. The one thing I don't like AI for at the moment is just making complete designs. Like I feel the clothes need to have a human touch or creativity. That might be skewed within 20 years time when AI is like mental and surpasses human intelligence. But at the moment, I think it's a good tool, but it shouldn't be used just to make a design. Even though that is a negative, I'm still putting it in A, because Claude, mate, Claude has absolutely changed the game for me, and it should change the game for you. Get yourself on the pro plan, get yourself on a couple of YouTube videos and learn how to use it, because it is absolutely mind-boggling. An underrated thing that I think a lot of brand owners overlook: I thought I could just sit in this room and make £1 million. Probably could, but I don't have the skill set for that yet. Because of that, I've realized you can't build a successful brand on your own. For example, if we're taking Cortez again, because it's culturally relevant, Clint didn't build it on his own. He's had his friends around him. He's had his network help him market it, but that's down to him building the network. Network is so important, because if you can't do something and someone else in your circle can, it's just so beneficial to the business, because the faster you move, the more money you make, really. And if you have all the people within touching distance to make your idea happen, you're going to succeed. For that, I'd probably put it in A tier. It's not at the top level, because you can do stuff yourself. If you are like a really intelligent person, you can learn it yourself on YouTube, but sometimes you just need that little help from other people. So that's why I'm going to put it in A. Something that's never actually happened to Frost is a chargeback ever in my life. We're about 1,500 orders deep now as well, and I've seen it a lot online about people, particularly with the pre-order method, getting chargebacks because people can just say it never showed up at the door because it's taken too long, and then get their money back, even though the product's already been shipped out and they've got it. Now, I'd like to thank Frost customers for not being liars, because quite a few people do scam chargebacks when they actually have the product, but it's never actually happened to me. I feel like it could be quite annoying. If you do get a certain amount of strikes on your Shopify store, they will just close down your store. So for that reason, it's not ideal, but at the same time, it's not really happened to me. So I'm going to put it in D tier. I don't think it's the end of the world, but there is ways around not getting chargebacks, because obviously the biggest brands in the world who run on Shopify, let's say Represent, clearly don't have a chargeback problem. On the topic of acquiring new customers as well, one thing I focus on is meta ads, because I'm better at meta ads than organic. Now, meta ads is a very, very slippery slope if you don't know how to use it. Once you log into Ads Manager, it's going to look like an absolute cockpit. There's so many buttons and you don't know what any of them do. However, you can learn it all on YouTube. I've learned all of it on YouTube, and also asking a couple of mates who also run meta ads. For this reason, I think it's very, very good. But I always say that meta ads is sort of a catalyst to your organic marketing already. If you're starting out and just solely relying on ads for your clothes, it's not gonna work out unless you have very deep pockets. It's a lot of testing, which costs a lot of money. You need to spend money in order for the algorithm to know who to serve your ads to and where you're going to get results. However, though, it is very, very good to scale. I do love it and I understand it well. I'm a pretty analytical guy. I'm probably more analytical than I am creative, so that's probably why I have a little bit of bias towards meta. The one thing paid ads isn't, though, is essential, because you've seen a lot of big brands build huge followings and huge companies off no paid ads on social media at all, such as Palace, Supreme, Cortez, Mertra. Even though they've just started running ads, Broken Planet, they've started running ads too. There are a lot of brands who don't run ads and do really, really well. If you're a very good marketer, you don't need ads. It's just about the type of brand you want to build. So I'm going to put it in A tier. I think A tier is fair. Seeing someone in public wear your brand for the first time, does not need any explanation, S tier. I've actually never seen anyone in my brand organically outside, which is gutting, but my friends have actually sent me pictures of people wearing my stuff, which is pretty sick. That brought a smile to my face. I'm still waiting for that moment, but I know that's going to be an S tier moment. Moving on to this one, you probably can't see what that is. It is a load of likes and comments on TikTok, and that's going to indicate a viral video. Viral videos are really good for attention, but say you get like 100k views, I'd class that as viral. You're not gonna go and get like 9 million orders, because the trust needs to be built up over time. I feel like it's very good for top of funnel, but you also need to make sure the consumers stay with you down the funnel so you can convert them. Gone are the days in lockdown where someone would post a picture or a video of a cool piece on the floor and it'd sell out. You've got to do a little bit more work now, because obviously the barrier to entry in the clothing brand is so low. For that reason, I'd probably put it in a BT, you know. Like, it is good. If you're just known for the brand going viral, I don't think you're going to be building the community. You're going to be building a lot of one-time buyers. So in that case, you're basically a drop shipping company. We're on to our last two now. Finding a new manufacturer and they mess up the first sample has to be one of the most gutting feelings ever. I'm actually going to put that in F tier as well. That is such a sinking, horrible feeling when you're so excited for your piece, your tech pack's good, and then you get it in hand and the quality's awful, the fit's awful, and you're just like, what is even the point here? What instructions have they read to get to this point? One thing I will say though, I get all my stuff made in China. Do not trust the pictures of Chinese manufacturers send you, because they'll put it on a mannequin and it will look awful. I've had countless samples where they put it on a mannequin and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'll get it in person and it's the best thing I've ever touched. So I'm not too sure why. It looks like every single manufacturer from China uses like an Android phone made in 2013, because the picture quality is awful. You need to make sure you get it in hand. But if it's not right, you can always use the failed sample to wipe your tears. And then finally, on our tier list is executing an idea for a design. I get a lot of my ideas when I'm on walks. I do a walk every single day just to get out in like a different environment that can spark different ideas, because if you're sat in these four walls all the time, creativity is not flowing whatsoever. What I tend to do is I'll be walking, I'll get my phone, I'll do a voice note, or I'll take a screenshot of like something I see and I'll go back and I'll make it on Photoshop, and when it comes out crisp, there is no feeling like it. You feel like you're the absolute dog's bollock. It is very good, but I don't think it's enough to go on the S tier. One thing I didn't mention about Shopify as well, which is probably be S tier on its own, the Shopify sale noise is like absolute crack. I have that as my alarm, so every single time I wake up, it's a Shopify ping in my ear, and it just gets me up. I'm up, I'm ready to go. Let's go and make some cash. So executing an idea for design, I'd probably put that in A tier as well, because designing is the best part of a clothing brand. Everything else is just sort of comes along with you getting your creativity out of there. We will end this video here. I've got a lot more content like this about how I run my brand and what I'm doing to scale it on this channel. So if you do enjoy, please make sure you like and subscribe. And we do have a new vlog out every single Sunday at 6 p.m. So make sure you get the notification bells on for that and stick around. And also, don't forget to like the video.